Her cheerfulness belies her intelligence and her seniority. This is the feedback I received about 7 months ago from a 360 feedback survey that has, quite frankly, driven me almost completely crazy. I was so confused and uncomfortable. Was I being criticized for being an extrovert? It's the thing I like best about myself. Now, I will fully admit, I can be an annoyingly cheerful person. I am that person who talks to everyone on an airplane, and I seem to have this habit of going to the grocery store and standing in line and just collecting new friends. It's great. But it seemed that what I thought was my best attribute, what was actually my biggest deficit. But how could this be? Extroverts, we have it easy, right? It's introverts. They're the ones that are struggling. Susan Cain has spoken about introverts and all the great things that they bring to the table. She talks about how they react differently in social situations and are often most alive when they're in solitude. And as a result, they have a tendency to struggle in the traditional business environment. So is it a bit peculiar for me to be standing up here in defense of the extrovert? But this is the heart of the issue, because we are automatically assuming that being an extrovert is an asset, when in fact, it's being evaluated as a liability. So many of us, and this is, trust me, this is me included, just default to defining an extrovert as someone who's outgoing. But actually, it turns out there are different types of extroverts. So maybe, just maybe, this is where I was falling down. Maybe I needed to figure out what type of extrovert I was. Now, the first type of extrovert. This is the agentic extrovert. These are the ones who are ambitious and they thrive in leadership opportunities and leadership positions. They're the type of people that you look at and you just think, oh man, this person just seems to be a natural born leader. And organizations and teams, they love these type of people. Now, I think that General Dwight D. Eisenhower is a very good example of this type of extrovert. His military success during World War II led to immense popularity. People trusted Ike. They felt safe with him, and they were drawn to this confidence that he had. Hence the draft Eisenhower movement, to pressure him to enter the presidential race in the first place. Then there's the second type of extrovert. This is the affiliative extrovert. These are the ones that have just this lovely dimension of social warmth and empathy, and just seem to have just this real affinity for social situations. They also have to overcome a bias in today's business environment, given that, well, it's assumed that if you're powerful, surely you don't smile. Known for his wide, toothy grin and comfortable informality, I think Jimmy Carter is a good example of this type of extrovert. Now, right away, whatever you think of his effectiveness as president or of his policies, the man was often caricaturized for his smile. And he himself said, you know what, maybe I just smile too much. So perhaps there's a reason why Jimmy and I have struggled in our experiences. And there's research that suggests that a smile may not be an affiliative extrovert's best asset. Darwin talks about how smiles have progressed similarly across humans and non-humans, in the sense that they appear to have evolved to function as submissive gestures. And we see something very similar with primates and their use of these smile-like facial displays. You may have heard of them. They're called fear grimaces that are used to prevent acts of aggression in the dominant members of the group. So it seems what we have here is that while a smile is supposed to convey to someone a happiness, an excitement, a passion to work and to work with them, that action, that smile, from an evolutionary perspective, may actually be putting the smiler squarely in the submissive seat. That's such a difficult hurdle to overcome. And what I realized was that in business, when it came to extroverts, people, you know what? They seem to want to work with Eisenhowers and not with Carters. So I said to myself, Katherine, you're going to be more like Ike. And I can tell you, I immediately began to eliminate all cheerfulness from my repertoire. Gone were the days of smiles, laughs, colorful dresses, and asking how someone's day was and genuinely caring about the answer. Serious, decisive, industrial, black suits. That was the new name of the game. But it seems that I may have overcorrected just a little bit, and that didn't resonate very well with my team, let me tell you. So during a staff meeting that we had, one of them stopped me, mid-sentence, she stops me, and she said, "Katherine, are you not feeling well?" I responded, I said, "Well, I feel just fine. And what would make you inquire after my health?" She said, "Well, frankly, you seem a bit out of sorts, a little melancholy." I replied, "This is my new approach. It's based on feedback that I've received that I really needed to dial it down a bit and be less overwhelming and outgoing." The look on her face, let me tell you, it landed somewhere between disgust and dread. Her once cheerful boss was now in her eyes suddenly cold and unapproachable. Meetings that were once welcomed as open, safe, and collaborative places to discuss everything from work to personal issues were now agenda-driven reporting sessions. I learned that it's not about changing my personality to reflect what I thought others were looking for. I needed a nuanced approach. Maybe, sometimes, Carters, maybe we do need to be more like Ike. Maybe not to the extent that I went. And you know what? Maybe sometimes Eisenhower's need to be a bit more like Carter. Organizations today need varied styles in their approach to innovation. Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg, I love this example. These are two people who have markedly different personality types, but the combination of these two in that executive team has contributed to the ultimate success of the business, with the extroverted Sandberg recently very aptly profiled as Zuckerberg's most valuable friend. We need to continually educate ourselves about the differences in traits and styles and approaches that are associated with these different personality types. We need to use the amazing resources that we have to figure out how to work together. Because let me tell you, I don't think that we can succeed with one personality type winning out over another or dominating an organization. It's the interaction, the intersection of those beautiful personality types. And from that diversity of personalities that's here and that's everywhere at work, that we will have such a powerful result. Diversity of thought. Thank you so very much.